This used to be my field, and for those of you that are looking at it and thinking, bet you're glad you moved because that field's a mess, let me assure you, when I was in here, this field was not like this, at least not when I left. When I first got in here, the field was full of weeds, namely spiny pigweed, dock, and buttercups. I did a lot of work to get rid of it. For the spiny pigweed, since that comes up from seed every year, it meant mowing. And since I didn't have a riding mower, it meant either a push mower or borrowing the mower of the farm owner. She didn't care if I mowed with it, as long as I also mowed some fields for her. The fence was horrible. I replaced all the fencing, put in a big fence post in the corner because there wasn't anything, and so that the fencing was safe for my horses. There was no gate in off the road. I put the gate in because at that point in time I was feeding round bales and I needed a way to get them in here. I used to store them over in that corner. One reason I stopped feeding them was because it was almost impossible to keep them dry through the whole winter. No matter how I tried to store them, I'd always end up losing hay. Plus, since I was putting the hay in a round bale feeder, when they were done with the hay, then I had to move the round bale feeder because I didn't want it in the same spot so that the horses were just making a mess with the mud. When I stopped feeding the round bales, I was still moving the round bale feeder and I was throwing hay in it. And then I asked myself one day, why in the world am I doing this? It would be so much easier to get rid of the round bale feeder and just throw out hay. Another thing that I did, there was all kinds of baling twine, mesh from netting that I pulled out. Well, the person that got in here after me and the people after them, they didn't care. As you can see, we've got some of the mesh here. Hello, honey. Hello, Libby. I limed the field to get rid of the milkweeds. I mowed the field. I dug out dock because it puts down a taproot to China. I also had rotational grazing. I had a line that went from the gate back there up to right about in here. I had another one that went from there over to about here and then to the run-in, and I had a round pen that I'd made set up here. And I would also go from the post over there to the front fence, so that at any one point in time I would have 2/3 of the field open and 1/3 closed off. And even with as small as the field was, there were times when I could get away with not giving the horses any hay. Then I had the opportunity to move down back. And it bothered me a little because of all the work I had done here, but it was a bigger field. With where I was right on the road. I don't like being on the road. I had, if I was here on the weekends, everybody coming up and bothering me, which to me can be annoying. I'm not necessarily a people person. I like people on my terms. So I moved down back. And the person that came in here assured me that she was going to keep the field the way I had it. I left everything for her for the rotational grazing. Well, it didn't take long before I realized that the field was really getting messed up. I said something to her about it. She says, well, I don't have all the equipment that you do. At that point in time, I had a riding mower and I had a manure spreader. I did not have them when I got in here. I had a muck bucket and a manure fork. I kept the field clean. I would pile the manure and then let people come in and take it for their gardens. I'd put it out on Craigslist if I had to. It wasn't long before the field not only was back to what it was like when I got here, but even worse. Maintaining the pasture is so important. I did have at one point in time 4 horses in here, and then went down to just my 3. Had one in here for the farm owner. But if you don't take care of your field, and this is what you're going to end up with. It's a mess. Now, I don't know how much time it's going to take for this field to recover. I don't know if it is going to recover, at least not the time that I'm at the farm. These 2 horses are in here now. I don't know how much longer they're going to be in here. They may not be in for too much longer. I'm not saying anything about that. It's not my place. But in times, it just breaks my heart to see all the work that I did to this field basically was for nothing. Well, have a good day.